Hi guys, welcome back to the channel, welcome back to the Retro Wrestling Room. Today we've got a really exciting video for you today. This is the first in the interview series that I've been promising for absolutely ages now. We're finally getting round to it, and I'm really excited to announce that we have Alexxis Falcon joining us today.
Hello.
How's it
Thank you for having
going?
me. I'm good. Are you?
Yeah, not too bad, thank you. Thank you so much for coming on, and especially being our first guest.
No, thank you for having me. I appreciate it. I'm excited to do it.
Yeah, I was saying to you earlier, I've been dying to do this series for ages. Been putting it off and putting it off, and I said to Vicky as well. I said, no, I want to get Alex on first because we've chatted before, and you know, I really wanted to have you on first as the first guest on the channel.
Oh, I appreciate that. I'm buzzing to be the first one, you know.
Oh, good, good. Right. For the people who don't know or may not be aware, you've just come back from a really big injury. First of all, what was the injury for people that may not know? And, you know, what was it like trying to come back from that injury? What was it like kind of getting back into wrestling? Was there any apprehension at all, anything like that?
Yeah, so I almost very nearly didn't come back. I tore my rotator cuff, tore my AC joint, and sprained my collarbone, sprained my trap, and ruptured my trap. So I was in a real lot of pain, and I do have a normal job outside of wrestling, and it meant that I had to be signed off from my job for 3 months because I couldn't like do anything. I couldn't drive anywhere. I couldn't. I put on a lot of weight. My mum, bless her, the first, and sorry for like the TMI here, but my mum had to come to my house. She lives in Hull. I live in Liverpool, so we're like 3 hours away nearly. And I literally couldn't get a shower. Like I genuinely couldn't take myself off to get a shower. So I texted her the day after that it happened, and I was like, "Mum, I think you're gonna have to come like and help me because I can't do anything. I couldn't even like squeeze the cat food out of the like packet." So the cats was on dry food for like 2 days. They were furious. And my mum had to come look after me, and like God, like the embarrassment of like my own mum seeing me like trying to take my top off when I'm 27 years old, and because I couldn't do anything for myself. And I literally got to a point I was like, is there any point in returning? Like, am I paid enough money for this? And I was so down about it. And then seeing all my friends just smash it, and I was so happy for them. But like seeing everybody just smash it while I was just like unable to even drive my car, it really made me consider if I was kind of done within wrestling and whether there were like other avenues that I wanted to kind of explore. Um, so yeah, in the end, I just kind of had like epiphany. I was like, no, do you know what? Like, I'm not just gonna let an injury, bad or as little as it may be, like stop me from doing what I've wanted to do since I was a little girl. Like, there's nothing that else that I've wanted to do. Even the other things that I do kind of on the side have come as a result of like life and experience and me going, oh, maybe I'd like that. But wrestling's something I wanted to do since I was literally like since I first saw it. Do you know what I mean? So I
Right.
was like, why should
Yeah.
I feel like maybe there's something in this comeback, and this, you know, the comeback's always greater than the setback. And I
Yeah.
was kind of getting quite frustrated with wrestling just before I got hurt as well. I was kind of getting frustrated with like where I was heading and what my kind of character was and stuff. And then I actually thought maybe this is all in like God's plan or the way of the universe, and this is like as messed up as it may sound, the best thing that could have happened for my mental headspace in wrestling because it really gave me that love for wrestling again, and appreciate and be grateful that I'm able to do it because not everybody can, you know.
Yeah.
And a torn rotator cuff isn't going to stop me from carrying on.
All right. I think that's you brought up something really interesting. Then I don't think many people talk about the mental aspect of coming back from injuries. You know, everybody says, you know, the like rehab therapy and everything, which must have been unbelievably painful. But people talk about, you know, the physical side of it, but I don't think many people talk about the mental side of an injury. I guess because something especially like wrestling, you know, and if it's going to be in that shoulder area, you know, am I going to have that strength back there? You know, there's got to be loads of questions that are kind of going through your head at that time.
It was so like the mental aspect was actually where, like, I'm not going to say that the pain wasn't bad, because if I could take that little fraction of that pain and give it to everyone so they knew what pain I was in, I would, as spiteful as that sounds. Like, and I was on the strongest painkillers and they weren't touching it. And it took them weeks to MRI me, so that was really like mentally damaging as well, not even knowing what was wrong with me for ages, because it took them so long to give me an MRI. You know, when I first got injured, the paramedic at the show said to me, I think you'll be all right, just give it a week's rest. But I knew, and I was like, no, like, I know this is a long time. But yeah, the mental side of it's rough because you just dosed upon all these painkillers. Like I say, I had to have my mum come and look after me when I'm 27 years old, and I haven't lived at home since I was 18. So for the first time in 9 years, I've even got, and you know, my mum don't care, and I know she don't care, but like even the like embarrassment of having to ask her to come and cook for me, clean after me, you know, put my arm into a sling properly, it was just awful. And then when you're told, like, right, you can start working out again now, and it's like getting the kind of like mental strength to go back into the gym, and then you're back in the gym and your physio's got you doing all these really strange exercises that like gym people don't do. So people are looking at you like, what is she do? Has she ever used that machine before? Like, you really need to tell. And I'm like, I don't normally use this machine like this. And I'm just sat there like this, doing this. And they're literally like, what on earth is she doing? So yeah, it is tricky. And even just like even when I started like running again in the ring and on like treadmills and stuff, and I put a lot of weight on when I first got hurt because I just did nothing but eat for the first 6 weeks because I couldn't do anything. I felt sorry for myself. My mum was going, do you want a McDonald's? And I'd go, yeah. And even that's like, you go back, you do one training session, you run the ropes, you think you're going to be fine. It's only been 5 months at this point. And you can't even do it. And I was like, oh my God, am I ever going to be like where I was? Do you know what I mean? Even though it's only 7 months that I took off, it feels like I'm now behind like 3 years. So it's tricky.
It came at a really, you know, from an outside, from a fan's point of view, it came at a really bad time, I think, because you really did seem like I've said to you before, I've always been a fan, but you really did seem to be hitting another level at that time, and it did seem to be going at quite a fast pace. So it did seem to really hit at a bad. I know there's not a good time, but extra bad time.
Sure, but like just before COVID, I broke my wrist. Not a proper break. It was literally. I didn't even need a cast for it or anything. It was like a hairline fracture. So I'm calling it a break. That's me being very dramatic. I still wrestled on it for about 6 shows, and then COVID hit. And I was like, oh, COVID's kind of, you know, COVID was a bad time for everyone. COVID was a bit of a blessing for me because it meant that I healed my wrist. And, you know, because I had time, because it was only a small injury, I was like, oh, I'm just going to carry on wrestling. I'm just going to strap it up, carry on wrestling. So it would have probably never healed. But like you said, there's no like good time to get injured. But like, yeah, it did feel like there was something. I was on the precipice of something really big, and then it got took away. And now I don't know if I feel like, and nor should I be like, I shouldn't come back and expect all the promoters who once had an idea for me to put me back in that same position. I now have to work for it. And there's people and women that have come up and, earned their spot where they are and overtook where I was, or now put in the position where I was. So now I feel like I've just got to kind of like grind my way back there. And now I have more of an arc this time. So yeah.
But that's a great atmosphere. That's a great. What's the word I was looking for then?
Arc?
I went to say a sentence and it just completely went out of my head then. That's a great way to feel though, because like you said, it could have been a time where it was just all downers and you coming back, it could have really just played on you, but you seem to have in you now almost like a fire in you that, oh, okay, I've seen all my friends, I've seen everyone else kind of level up, like you said, but now it's kind of given me the boost. Okay, right, okay, I've seen them level up, I've got to level up again now to regain my spot.
Yeah, exactly. That's exactly how I feel about it. It's just a case of putting in that work now to get there.
Like you said, well, we were alluding to you were kind of on a bit of a hot streak. You went from this character, and I've seen you say it before in interviews, that wasn't really you. It was kind of this like rock chick kind of character, I guess.
The most generic character you could possibly think of.
Yeah, but like that kind of what it was, wasn't it? It's not in a disrespectful way or anything from my end, but that's what it was. And like you said, yeah, it everything could be kind of generic and things like that. I understand that, but it wasn't you. Whereas now you seem to be forming a character that's more of your personal kind of experiences, personal aspects of your life kind of woven into this character now. What kind of sparked that change in you?
Well, Ben, you met me outside of wrestling before you kind of knew me through wrestling, through Vicky, which was via Disney Instagram, because outside of wrestling, my first love, because the first thing that I ever saw was Disney. So you could probably argue that I'm the worst type of adult, because apparently Disney adults are the worst and wrestling adults are the worst, and I'm both.
Apparently so.
So what more could you want from a woman? But so everybody, like, even when I had the bright red hair, and oh my god, don't get me wrong, and I'm gonna get a bit of heat and flack for saying this, I love some rock bands, like the old school rock bands, like AC/DC maybe. But yeah, like, it just wasn't me. Like, I couldn't sit there and everybody was like, oh my god, yeah, I love the red hair, like proper rock chick hat, yeah. And I literally did it to look like Ariel. Like, there was no rhyme, there was no other reason. It's literally because Ariel was my favourite princess. And I was like, I look like Belle and I need to look like Ariel. Like, my whole life has been dedicated to looking like a different Disney princess through the times. Like, and that was my Ariel era. I've even had a short bob to look like Snow White when I was a kid. Do you know what I mean? Like, so, but everyone thought it was this like rock chick thing, but really it was because of that. And it just got to a point where I was like, right, there's quite a lot of people doing the devil horns, the tongue out, the rock chick. They're all probably going to be doing it better than I am, because that ain't me, and that could well be them. And I know that you could maybe argue that like a queen gimmick is kind of overdone, but I feel like I've been one of the first to say that even when I was the rock chick, it was still the Iron Queen. And it was more of like, not even a sense of like royalty. I know I'm not royalty. I'm literally from Hull. Like I'm literally from Hull. My
Yeah.
mum's side of the family are off one of the biggest council estates in Europe. Like I'm
Yeah.
never going to be royalty, and I'll never claim to be royalty. But the best part about kind of having that Disney fantasy type thing is that you believe that one day you can be, even if you're so far away from it.
Right.
And I just wanted to bring it more into the gimmick. I don't want to be known as like the Disney girl, but it's something that no one was doing. And there's so many larger than life characters in Disney. It's what so many things in the world are based off. And everyone's familiar with it. And even if you're not, if I can become this larger than life, like the way that I like to describe Alexxis Falcon is, if Alexxis Falcon had her own Disney movie, this would be her. And it just so happens she's a wrestler. It just so happens she has over the top experiences, big facial expressions. It just so happens she's from a small city, well, medium city in Hull. Do you know what I mean? Like this is all just the backstory of my film. Does that make sense?
Yeah, it does. Yeah.
So that's kind of where I wanted to head with it. And I think I'm so much happier and confident in myself now since coming back. Like even and changing the gimmick.
Yeah, I think you really can tell that it is more you. There's more comfortable. You can see it through the screen. You know, if you're watching Progress, if you're watching Eve, you can visibly see it. I think with your character now. I want to cut to somebody who I think is quite influential on some of your character changes, and that is this absolute menace.
Good heavens.
Yeah. Right, people who don't know, Mr. Charles Crowley, what kind of influence has he had on your career since you became, well, even before you were a tag team? I'm just laughing at some of these clips that are coming up here.
I know, that's so oh my god.
There's some absolute classics in there. But even before you
I
became,
forgot about loads of them.
But even before you became this tag team, I remember when I did see you at that, I think it was the Progress and TNT show. It was after Clash at the Castle in Cardiff.
Yeah, I wrestled him.
Yes. That is actually one of my favourite ever clips of you there. And that is you. And it looks like you're absolutely corpsing.
So it was. And in the edit, we did retake one where I don't corpse.
Okay.
And in the edit, Crowley sent me that one. And he was like, this is the finished version. And I went, why are you using that video where I just laugh?
Yeah.
And he was like, that was really funny. And I was like, great. But yeah, so could you send me that little montage that you made,
of course.
by the way? I don't know how you did that, but if you could send me that, that'd be great.
Yeah, of course I can.
Yeah, so thank you. He has been, you know, when we wrestled each other, it was just a little idea. We met at the Progress lockdown tapings. We got on really well. We had a laugh. There was, because it was proper COVID restrictions, so like you were in like proper little bubbles. So we all stayed in like a certain hotel, and we could go into each other's rooms because we'd all kind of like joined each other's bubble. I don't know if you remember it when it was all that sort of stuff.
Oh,
and then
God, yeah.
there was like me, him, Ollie, the guy that you often hear on comms, Kanji and Giselle, and we would all just like go and sit in a little room and order a little takeaway on the night and just chill and eat and have fun. So I got on with him really well, and then we just kind of like pitched this idea of that we really wanted to wrestle each other. We did. Do you know sometimes when you wrestle someone and you just have really good chemistry with them in the ring, like you just like, oh yeah, this is like, this is good. We have had one, like one match where I was like, we wasn't on our form today. But like,
Right.
I think everyone has that. And I think that like from the first match, I was like, we've got proper chemistry. Like, I feel like this needs to be something. We went through like with the whole storyline at TNT. We then became a tag team at TNT, or managing each other at the very least. And everyone was just like wanting to buy into it. They were just like, this, I think this is money, but no one has pushed me and pushed my career in ways that Crowley has. And sometimes we argue an awful lot because we're both very harsh on each other. So, you know, when I get in and same for him, but when I get in these like little ruts and I'm like, I hate this and this, he'll be the first to check me and be like, stop it, do this, do this, do this. You say you want it, go get it. And he's shown me stuff about my character. I think his character work is the best in the UK as well. So having someone like that who I can learn from and ask advice to on hand all the time is fantastic.
And the fact that you are history making in the fact that you're the first ever and only female Progress Tag Team Champion.
Yeah, can never erase that, you know. They can never erase that. Even if we did lose them very controversially, doesn't matter. Like, that happened. And as silly as it sounds, like, I can only, like, I'm so grateful that I was in that position. But you do have to kind of, you know, any wrestler will tell you they get imposter syndrome. And you know, there was an awful lot of time where I was like, oh my God, have I only got this because I'm teaming with Crowley and all this? And then I had to be like, no, do you know what? Both of us are stars in our own right. And both of us have worked like, there was no reason for those fans to give us a standing ovation for a 2-minute match when we won the belt. And they chanted, you deserved it, right? And I don't know if you watched the return match I had with Crowley, and I said to him at the end, like, we need to go on our separate paths because it was everyone chanting, you deserve it. And I was like, yeah, we deserve it. And then I was like, hold on a minute, right? Hold on a minute. Because if we deserved it, to me, that would have been like that crowd seeing the cheeky little buggers train week in, week out, get better over the years and years of this tag team that just keeps getting better and better. And finally they get their shot. We'd had one match as a tag team at Progress, called out the Smirking Aces, won the belts. And the crowd went, you deserve it. Deserve what? That made me realise that I was like, right, I do think Cheeky Little Buggers deserved it. We were so entertaining. You know, we had I would argue, the best tag gear, brilliant tag music. The fans had seen us on a journey, okay? But on the surface, it was Alexxis Falcon deserved recognition in Progress and Charles Crowley deserved recognition in Progress. It just so happened that the only way there was to get it together.
Right.
That's my opinion, because I think that like the fans had seen me for years now at Progress be turned on by everyone, try and go for the women's belt time after time after time and get knocked back, win big matches, like win clock strikes midnight matches, come out of really big feuds, still not go for the women's belt because Progress didn't put me there. And then when I finally got there, I didn't win. And then, so like, I've had this kind of like this upwards trajectory where I've like really had to scratch and claw my way there, didn't quite get it. Fans were disappointed. Crowley's kind of had the same, like, you know, he's done 2 rounds of Super Strong Style. He's got a bit further each time. He's organically got over with the crowd. He didn't start out as a babyface in Progress. The crowd just absolutely loved him. So they've seen him go from teaming with someone to standing on his own to getting somewhere to getting on Super Strong Style. That's huge. And then he gets out in the first round. Everyone's like, oh, he goes to the next year. He's out in the second round. Everyone's like, oh, like, you know, like. It's two people that really, I think the fans have seen have really, really, really been working over the last 3 years at Progress.
The only thing that I'm gutted about is that you guys didn't win the tag team titles in Progress when they used to have the old shields.
I know, they were boss, weren't they?
Yeah, they were so different. I don't
The
know.
new belts are nice though.
They are lovely.
We won them on the day that they brought in the brand new ones. So like they unveiled these new ones. And then when we won them, I was like, because I didn't have a clue. So I went, why am I being given 2 belts? And then I went to give it to Crowley. And then I was like, oh, he's got 2 belts as well. I was like, they've just for some reason give us the old and the new. I thought when they unveiled the new ones, that would mean you want to get given the new one. But for some reason, the ref was just like, there's both of them. And then I think, them men's belts, it like covered me. I said, no wonder no woman's ever won this before. You can't even see me in my promo pictures because the full belt just covers me. So, yeah.
Well, imagine trying to carry around a shield, I guess, in your luggage.
Giant shield, yeah. I know.
It'd be even worse.
I know. They were boss then, though.
They were. I wonder why they got rid of them. I don't know. Maybe it was a novelty.
When did they get rid of them?
I'm not sure. I was just trying to think then.
It was definitely pre-COVID.
Yeah, it was a while ago, I think, now.
It was a while back now.
Yeah, I think didn't the heavyweight champion have like a giant staff or something?
Yeah. Nathan was the first person to win it. He had a big giant staff instead of like a belt.
Yeah.
With the little Progress eagle on the top.
That's right. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'd forgotten about the staff as well.
Yeah.
Right. A really odd clip that's going to come up now, and an American audience may not understand the reference. You're going to have to talk people through this. I thought it was one of the funniest clips I'd ever seen, and I showed Vic I showed Vic as well the other day, and she was highly confused because somehow she'd missed this. The multiverse rumble. What's happening here?
So everyone always wants to come out as other wrestlers, and I was like, nah, do you know what? I'm not going to do that. God, look how much weight I've lost since then. But
it's the purple shirt. Don't worry.
No, I hope I have lost weight since then. I've been really trying. Yeah, and I said to Dan Reed, the owner of Eve, I said to him, I think I'm going to do Peter Kay. And he went, Peter Kay? I went, yeah, really famous comedian in the UK, probably the most famous comedian in the UK. My favourite comedian as well. And he was like, if you think you can pull off Peter Kay, then by all means, you do Peter Kay. He went, and I was going to work, and I was like, Dan, don't worry, I've got it. I had a microphone for the whole match, so that anytime somebody did anything, I could like land one of his jokes. Not as funny as Mr. Peter Kay himself. I came out to Is This the Way to Amarillo, following his famous Is This the Way to Amarillo thing that he did like, it was like 20 years ago now.
I know, time goes too fast.
I know. The purple shirt and a stick of garlic bread.
It's the garlic bread, I think, that just takes it from that level, and it's just up there now.
Yeah. So it was honestly the most fun I've ever had. I think genuinely, I was like, this is hilarious, and I think that I was very aware that a lot of the American audiences, and Eve has like quite a good international audience. So I was aware that a lot of them wouldn't get it, but I was like, do you know what? I don't care, because the second that they Google it and they go, Peter Kay, I've never heard of him, who's Peter Kay? And they Google it, and then, because the purple shirt is famous as well.
Yeah,
like,
it is. Yeah.
You know, he has got the blue one that he wore on his like first one, the proper sweaty one that he did, where he's got the little gold balloons in the background. And I was like, oh, do I go for that one? But I feel like the purple one is like peak. Like if someone walked into a room with a purple shirt on, you go, what you just like Peter Kay for? So that was the one I had to pick.
Yeah, there's something about that. It was just such an iconic look. And as soon as you came in, even if the music wasn't playing, everyone in that crowd would have been like, that's Peter Kay.
Yeah, definitely.
I think this was the next year. You said that last clip was the most fun you've ever had. Look at the smiles on these two in this clip. I'm not sure if I've ever seen anybody look more proud or happier with themselves as this clip.
The reason I'm so proud and happy of this clip is that I actually got Lizzie in the Luigi costume. So before it, I picked her up because we both drove down together, and I pulled up outside her house. And the whole time, because we were a tag team at Eve, and the whole time I said, oh, you know, I feel like we could go as Mario and Luigi. And she went, fuck off, I am not going as that. And I was like, you are? And then I went, if you can think of me something better, then by all means, I'll do something better. And she couldn't, so I showed up at her house with a little Amazon parcel sat on the front seat waiting for her. I went, open that, Lizzie, it's for you. She opens it and her face just went. And I said, that's what we're wearing tonight. That's our costume. And she just went, I can't fucking cope with this. And then we're backstage. I'm saying, go on, get it on, get it on. And then and to be fair, I ordered I ordered mine in the wrong size. So mine was massive on me. But Lizzie's looked real good on her. So everyone was backstage saying to her, do you know what, Lizzie, you look good, to be fair. And we just had a belt of time. In the end, she was like, I'm so glad I did that. Like, I'm so glad you managed to talk me in to putting on a bloody Luigi costume and doing that, because that was hilarious.
What would you have done if she just said, no, not doing
it would just been Mario.
Yeah.
I'd have got eliminated and then come back out as Luigi.
Oh, that would have been even better. Because you got the love for Disney as well, have you ever thought of coming out in the Multiverse Rumble as a Disney-inspired character at all?
I have, yes. But I don't want to say who, because I don't want to do it and then not be able to, do you know what I mean? Like, and then not be able to do it. But I have a few, and especially the first year, everyone was like, I don't know what to go as, and everyone was throwing across ideas of Disney, and I was like, oh, I think it's too obvious. That's how I ended up going with Peter Kay. Mr. Bean was one who I was heavily considering. I thought Mr. Bean would be really funny, but there is a few Disney ones. Trying to find the humour in them might be a bit hard, but I think I'll be able to do it. Yeah,
I think so. You pull it off. When I was looking back through your catalogue, you managed to go to America with the wrestling. How was that?
It was fantastic. Like, honestly, like, being there for Mania weekend, where there was like the collective and doing Progress as part of the GCW collective, although we may have lost our tag belts, the vibes was just class. Like, just being in a place where I've never done Mania, so being in a place where like everyone is just so hyped to be around wrestling, and like, you know, you go into Philadelphia airport and they're all like, are you here for the wrestling? And like, because they've had so many people come in just for wrestling, and you know, it's just, I was so grateful. I was really, really grateful that Progress asked me to go over. I don't know if it's something that I'll be able to do again this year, because life just isn't lifing in that way. But I was so thankful and grateful that I've at least been able to tick one off. And if the stars align and it means that I can go this year, then amazing. As of right now, it's not looking that way, but I'm keeping everything crossed, and I'm just grateful and blessed that I was able to go and be a part of something so cool, and get the little American flag in my bio, and have my little American visa page in my passport is my favorite page. Like, every time I go to like any other country, like, I accidentally open it on that page just so that they know I've got an American visa. Oh, sorry, it's the next page. Stamp the next page.
Yeah.
So yeah, I was really, really happy to go there. It was incredible.
The fact that you got such a optimistic outlook as well, even though you said then, yeah, it may not happen this year, but next year, the year after,
Yeah.
that
Yeah.
it's just
Yeah.
goals on goals,
Exactly. Yeah, I've got a taste for it now, so now it's just keep working, keep grinding, keep going for it.
One of your most famous matches, well, I think it's one of your most famous matches, and it's a match that is attributed to you as well, is the Clock Strikes Midnight match. Explain to people who may not know what is a Clock Strike Midnight match. What is this all about?
So the Clock Strikes Midnight match, I really wanted a match that was like had never ever been done before. So it was actually me and one of the creative people from Progress who kind of came up with the idea. I was bouncing ideas to him, and then I watched. I can't remember the specific match. Do you remember when Regal was King Regal and
Yeah.
he did that match and he had that woman out with him and the guy beat him by a submission or something and the bell rang and then the woman went, "Oh, actually, the rules
Oh,
here say," I can't remember who it was. It's really annoying me.
something of Queensbury rules or something along those
Yeah,
lines.
yeah, and then he'd get like by a count out and she'd go, "Oh, no, start again." And the crowd were getting like really frustrated with it. And it was a really good heel heat. Now I was aware that I was the babyface going into this, but I was like, what if? I was like, has anything ever been done where like that happens, but the stipulation changes as the match is going on?
Right.
And I searched high and low, and so did Progress. We couldn't find anything to suggest that had been done before. I'm sure someone will correct me if I'm wrong, but I'm still to this day certain that no one's done it. And it was the trickiest match I've ever had to do in my entire life. Like why I decided to come up with that, I have no idea, but I did, and here we are. And now I kind of want to keep it as kind of my match, and kind of have that as something I run with when I really need it. You know how like Taker had his match and all that stuff, and it felt really special. I think that like nothing's been done like that, especially on the indies. So to have that and be able to do that when needed would be really nice.
I think that's quite a special thing to have, especially on the indies. Like you said, like obviously bigger wrestlers in WWE and everything have like their specific match, but to be able to, and especially in wrestling where they always say things have been done before, everything's been done before, there's nothing new. To be able to come up with something new in what year did that take place?
23.
23, yeah, to come up within like the last 2 years of something, right? Okay, well that's new. Okay, you said it came from an idea of William Regal, but it was still
completely different.
completely different.
Yeah, that was just kind of I watched that, and that was the
Like a spark,
light
yeah.
bulb. That was the do you know what I mean? But it was still different. Certainly different enough.
100%. Have you been in a lot of like say hardcore matches like that style before that match?
Um, no, not really. I'd done like a few death type matches, if you can call them that. Like I'd done with drawing pins. I'd done like weapons matches in Eve. I'd done a big weapons match with Lana at Progress. And like no disqualification matches, but that was probably the trickiest one and the most I've ever bled in a match before.
Yeah. And afterwards, apparently.
Yeah, it didn't stop. So I did have to go to the A&E after that. Because I'd gone to I'd put some stuff in my suitcase and my suitcase was on the floor. So I was bent down, taking my boots off, I thought it was fine. And then all of a sudden, like my face felt warm. And I was like, why is my face feel so warm? And I looked up, turned around, and Nina went, oh my gosh. And I was like, what? And she was like, you face. And I turned in the mirror and it just looked like brand new. Like I'd just cleaned it all as well. And she was like, that's disgusting. And I was like, oh. But it actually ran better than it ran in the match. Like it came down like
Oh no.
in the match, my head got tilted back, so it all went straight in my hair. Like it was still all over my face. But this time, because it'd been bent down, it was like perfect like lines. And I was like, whoa, should we go back out?
Yeah. Yeah, can we reshoot just the end part? Is that okay? Nobody else say anything.
Exactly. That's why I was like, oh my god, come on. But yeah, the cut that was on my head, it just wouldn't stop. No matter what I did, no matter how much pressure I applied to it. So I had to go get my head glued. And I couldn't wash my hair for 2 weeks. It was real greasy. It was disgusting. Honestly, that was the only bad thing about it. If you'd have seen me in the 2 weeks after that match, I actually looked horrendous. I'd seen my mum in that time and she was like, you're actually a tramp. Like, why is your hair dusty? And I was like, I'm not allowed to wash it. Like, they say to you when you get your hair glued, do not wash your hair for 2 weeks, right? So I was like, I'm not allowed to wash it because I had blood in it anyway. It was already like thick grease and like wrestling sweat and like honestly, I didn't leave the house after that. She literally came and just shot my confidence into the bin. She was like, you're a tramp.
That's what mums do.
I know.
Right. You commented on one of your nicknames earlier, the Iron Queen. One of the best monikers, I guess is a moniker or something that people say before a match, the best thing from Hull since Dean Windass.
Yes. Big up Dina. No one knows who he is.
Yeah.
Which is kind of the cruel irony of it. Because anyone that does know who he is goes, that's really funny. Anyone who doesn't, they go, who's Dean Windass? And I'm like, he literally scored the best goal you've ever seen in 2007 at the playoff finals. And I was there, I saw it live.
Okay.
But no one cares. They're just like, great. But if you follow Dean Windass on like Twitter, I think his tweets are so funny. Like when he just goes onto his like camera in the morning, and he's like, my bed's made, my pillows are on top, I've run 20 miles this morning. And he's just really funny. Like he's just a proper normal guy. And I would argue that he's the best thing to come out of all. So yeah, best thing to come out of all since Dean Windass. Sorry to all the other wrestlers from all. But I've claimed that. Oh, here she is.
Yay! Cameo.
Right on time.
Yeah, we called it.
It's not an interview without a cameo from Leela.
Well, there you go.
Great, thanks, Leela. Brilliant.
Yeah, anybody who ever tunes in and watches my live streams of Raw and Dynamite, they'll know that Millie decides that when I start streaming that, yeah, that's the time to come sit on my lap. Every time. Yeah, she's not moving.
They're so cute, aren't they?
Yeah, they're the best.
But they're terrors.
Oh,
Leela, no one
100%.
wants to see your bumhole. Like, honestly. Sorry.
So, yeah, well, I think Lilo was trying to bring up the point. You said you're the best thing from Hull since Dean Windass.
Yeah.
Got a few names.
Okay.
Reece Shearsmith from Inside Number 9 and the League of Gentlemen. Better than him?
I have no idea who he is, so I'm going to say
okay.
yes.
Nicky Barmby.
Oh, Nick Barmby's a good one, you know.
Yeah.
Dean Windass is better. Like, Nick Barmby was good, but he didn't score that goal. Do you know what I mean? Like, everyone knows that goal.
John Prescott.
Oh God. God rest his soul. Yeah, I know where he lives. Well, lived, you know.
Okay.
All the school kids used to go, like, stand outside his house and shout stuff. But, yeah, sorry, John Prescott. God rest your soul and all that,
But, yeah.
Yeah.
All right, we'll give you that one as well. Yeah, there's looking it up, there was quite a few famous people from Hull. I was quite shocked.
Is there?
Yeah, there was Paul Heaton from the Beautiful South, Mick Ronson, who was in Bowie's band. Yeah, there was quite a few names, and I was like, that's quite a bold statement to say you're the best thing.
Oh well.
But yeah.
I'm keeping it.
One of the things that I found when I was just randomly on the PlayStation the other day, you actually turn up in a WWE game. Somebody's actually made your character in the newest WWE game.
Whoa, and I've got red hair as well.
Yeah.
Whoa, me hitting a body slam. I don't think I've ever hit a body slam in my entire life.
There's quite a few moves where I thought,
Whoa.
I'm not quite sure. And even Crowley in the background as well.
Whoa! Oh my God, sick.
But
why has he just stood there?
But what's it like when, you see things like that somebody's actually gone out of their way to make you in a game that you're not in? It's got to be such a strange feeling.
Yeah, it is so weird. Like, I don't mean it weird in a bad way. Like,
no.
It's just weird. Like, whoa, like, as if someone's done that. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, they've made me better than I used to make me when I used to do, I used to try and do create a wrestler.
Yeah.
I used to obviously try and make myself, Leela, please move. They've done a better job than I've done. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Whoa, that's sick. Whoa.
It's just crazy, I think, that, and it goes to show that, your fans will go out there. So, I've seen your character on the Fire Pro games and the WWE games. The fact that they, are making these UK wrestlers on their favourite games, I think it's a testament to how good the UK scene is as well, really.
The UK scene's one of the best, and I won't hear otherwise.
No.
I'm really sorry about the cat, but if I try and move her, she will hiss at me. So.
It's fine, no problem. Obviously the UK scene, everybody always talk. If you talk to people that are older than us, it was the Giant Haystacks, the Big Daddies, the World of Sport days, and then disappeared apparently. Obviously, we know there was wrestling going on everywhere, but the big boom periods disappeared. And then, say from 2000 and, I don't know, say 13 to 17, there seemed to be this really big buzz about the UK scene again. But when I was thinking about it the other day, it was mainly male wrestlers, I think, were in that boom period. Whereas now, since COVID, oh, she's so cute. Since COVID, I genuinely believe that the big boom period is with female wrestlers.
Yeah, I agree.
Do you feel that way as well, then?
Yeah, 100%. And I do think that we're on the cusp of another boom as well. I don't know if you saw Trent Seven's post the other day. He's just done a podcast recently. And he was saying that because of the introduction of, WWE on Netflix and wrestling now being in all these homes, that there's probably going to be another boom. But I felt like even before then we were kind of on the cusp of it happening. And I agree with him. I think that we're going to get something really big come soon. And I do think that a lot of it will lie with the women.
Yeah, me too. I think yourself, obviously Nina, Rio, Kanji, Lana, the first person I was going to say then, Alex Winter. There's just so many and really, really good wrestlers as well.
Yeah, I agree. I absolutely 100% agree. And I hope that the women are at the forefront of it because, it's about time.
Yeah, 100%. And it's not just on Eve shows as well. It's not just female-only shows. They're stealing the shows on shows that are predominantly male-based as well.
Yeah, I know. I agree. And as a female worker, it's great to see. That's, I think that when women are there's so many amazing, incredible, talented female workers that I'm so blessed to be around. And I think that it is about time that the women kind of got, because like you said, the last boom was kind of all about the men. I do think it's about time that the women kind of are the face of a big boom period in wrestling.
It really does feel like it's happening now.
Yeah.
And yeah, I did see Trent's interview the other day. I think even at the end of it, he said thank you. I think even he thought it was a really good promo that he just cut.
Yeah.
But it was genuine. It everything he said was 100% true as well.
Yeah, I completely agreed with everything he said as well.
So before you go, obviously thank you again so much for coming on, being our first guest on here. What are the wrestling goals, would you say, for yourself over like the next, say, 12 months?
The next 12 months, I really just want to focus on like rebuilding and kind of making up for lost time, showing that I belong. I know that I've got a long way to go now in terms of like, before I left, I was kind of in these top spots almost, and now I'm not. So kind of getting my way back to those and just showing everyone what they've missed for the last 7 months, really.
Brilliant. Yeah, thank you so much again for coming on, being our first guest on the channel. But there we go, guys. That was the Alexxis Falcon interview. I can't thank her enough for coming on, being this first guest on this channel. As you can see, a little bit nervous on my end of things there. But yeah, thank you so much.
Smashed it.
Oh, there you go. Thank you. But yeah, thank you so much for tuning into the channel. Check out all the live streams, and hopefully we'll keep this series going now. This won't be the last interview series, in the interview series even. Yeah, thank you so much. Leave a like, leave a subscribe, comment down below. As you know, we always reply on this channel, the most positive YouTube channel on the site. Thank you so much again, and we will see you soon. Bye, guys.
Yeah, thank you. Appreciate it.